What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie BLD bringing you an artificial leg. That's what this is. This is somebody could strap this to their hip and walk with it. This is a Work Tuff Gear Mountain Man by Aurora Borealis. This thing is a monster. So anything I say that could sound I don't want to say negative because there's nothing I can say that's negative about this. But that could sound like, oh, you're saying, oh, that's not very good, is going to be due to personal build. I mean, not everybody is built like a hairless gorilla and has monster mitts. So hand size changes how the grip is for everyone. So if one person has short hands and one person has long hands, or one person has fat hands and one person has skinny hands, every grip is going to be different for the different kind of hand. For my kind of hand, I'm going to say some things that some people would perceive as negative, but believe me, it's not. So let's go over this thing. I just wanted that disclaimer because there's so many haters out there that if you say one thing because of a personal reason, even if it's a personal preference, not even because of how it fits, people, no, but it's perfect. Okay, for you it is, but for me, like, pick out a blade here. For me, this might be a little small in the grip. For you, it might be perfect. It's just because of my hand size, right? So I'm not saying anything negative. This is wonderful. That doesn't change that fact that my hands are big. It's how I was born. So let's get into this because I'm pretty excited about it. It's a big, heavy piece. Now, I've shown you in different videos where I bring out a big knife. I've designed many big knives, right? And when designing a big knife, you have to assume that the person who would want that big knife wants it for reasons less than, oh, I plan on EDCing this. Now, does that mean this can't be EDC'd? And I do believe it comes with a shoulder strap. I do believe this one doesn't have it. It was sent to me from Scab over at Choir Boys Outdoors. And thanks to Mr. Vic Lynn over at Work Tuff Gear. But there's going to be 7 people that say, oh, I EDC this. And that's great. I would not EDC this. But it definitely has its place. While it doesn't have its place on a hip walking through town, for the majority of people, it definitely has a place. Before we get into this, before we get into that blade, I'll show you. Let's go over the sheath. It doesn't have a belt loop on it. I don't know if it comes with it or not. I think it does say something about a shoulder strap. It says it's a black Kydex plus 2x D-ring plus shoulder strap. So I'm guessing maybe it's a dangler and it has a shoulder strap. I'm not 100% sure. But what I can tell you is you have a ton of rivets for either attachments like ferro rod attachments or striker attachments or mag strip attachments. You could just attach pretty much anything to this, or you can just absolutely load it with cordage. You do have a drainage hole in case you are nipple deep in water. You're crossing over something when you get out, it will drain. It's built really well. The retention's very well. I don't know, the sheets always work with these guys. But now let's get into the knife. So this thing is nuts. First of all, design-wise, I have to say that the drop point compared to the rise from the belly is beautiful. I think that is beautiful. I absolutely love this blade shape. For me, the only thing I really didn't like was this right here. A smooth transition, I think, would have been, well, first personally, remember, it's personal. It's a personally thing. I'm trying to find something I can use to mask that with. But if it was like that, just a smooth line from the handle and then cruising across the spine to the tip, I think that would be absolutely gorgeous. And when you're talking about a knife this big, this little hump right here is basically for tight work or for thumbing. When you're talking about a knife this big, you really don't need that. One of the things I have to say, though, is this design right here, this like rigid looking bumpy design, while it takes away from your 90-degree angle for striking a ferro rod, that doesn't really matter because you can go right past it and you can find a 90, maybe here, maybe not, or this is kind of rounded. So you'd probably, if you were going to strike a ferro rod, you could just use the base of your edge where you're not going to need it. That's going to be the best place. Outside of that, there's not too many places to strike a ferro rod on this thing because it's built really good looking. I guess right here, this is, I think, a 90 right here, this little area, and that might actually do the trick. The problem is trying to do it from that angle, you lose control. So one of the things that he says about this knife, he says, it's striking the ideal balance between a powerful chopper and a nimble utility knife. Nimble utility knife. Nimble utility knife. You can tow a Jeep with this. All right. There's not much nimble going on here. Even with the giant, I love the choil because it's so big. Even with this giant choil, your nimbleness is not really there because the weight from the heel compared to the weight from the tip, it's just unbalanced for nimble work. Can you do it? Abso-freaking-lutely. If you're in a pinch and this is what you have, you're going to do it. You can feather with this thing. No problem. Are you whittling grandpa's little wooden sheep? No, absolutely not. This thing is a monster. It is a hitter, and that's what it's made for. Now, when I was talking about my hands, and if I say something that sounds negative, people are going to freak. With the grip, with this hard bend right here, it really barely touches my hand. So my hand grabs in here, and then from here to here, the blade rolls forward. If I'm gripping tight, the blade rolls forward in my hand. I can't stop it. It's just rolling forward. And what that means is I have less control of this grip. I can easily spin the grip. But it's not a bad grip. It's kind of weird to say. You have plenty of space on the in-between, the inside grip, plenty of space. For me, and because of the size of my hands, it really doesn't work for me. So if you have like a double XL hand, long hands, if you have fat hands, I think it's going to be great. But it might not work for you. This just wants to feel, and it's all because of the weight distribution. The weight is made to do this. That's what this weight is made for. But it's just here. It's just not secure in my grip. And I wish I could tell why. I don't know if it's too fat here and then too thin here and here to kind of make up that contrast. But for some reason, I can't get a proper lock on this grip. And again, I can't get a proper lock on this grip. He designed it probably for his grip. And if you have a hand the size of his, it's probably going to feel amazing. You do have a lanyard strap hole right there. It goes through. It's really nice. It is really well fattened, so you can still use this as a banger. You can break open mussels and clams and coconuts, things like that. The thing is a banger. Let's get into the stats and then take it outside because we're getting too long in this. The overall length, speaking of too long, well, it is true full tang, obviously. The overall length is 17.4 inches long with a blade length of just under 12 inches at 11.7. It has a cutting edge of 11 even inches. The blade thickness is 0.287. If you don't know what that means, 0.25 is a quarter inch. So this is bigger than a quarter inch. It is a saber grind with convex edge. That is a chopper's edge. It is a beautiful drop point. The blade steel is Bowler 329 with a Rockwell of 59. The blade finish, I believe this is like a river wash. I'm not sure. I just pulled up the first one and it said the Devil APO. I'm not sure if that's the red color that this one doesn't have. So this might just be like a stone wash. Not 100% sure. But I really like it. I love the finish on this. It's going to be rust corrosive. It's going to help to defend yourself against corrosion and rust. So that's really good. The handle material is G10. The weight is 38 ounces. With the sheath, it is 45 ounces. And I think we need to take it outside and swing it. All right, you notice there's a little dirt on it. I have a pile of, I should hit the dog with the thing. I have a pile of thorns that I previously cut, and the wind, because we're in the windy season right now, the wind brought them all over. So as I came out here, I'm like, oh, I don't want to step on these. And I use this like a freaking shovel to pull it all up. So that was pretty cool. It's really hard because of the balance, the extreme weight forward on this, and then the fact that I can't get a grip back here. It's really hard to turn it in the hand. I know I make it kind of look easy, but it's because I practice. I do this a lot. But I can tell you in the hand, spinning it, it feels like it wants to leave the hand. Like if I'm not careful, it's going to fall down and go through my foot. Would suck because this thing's a beast. And I don't want that to happen. So I can tell you that if you're looking for like the fighting buoy, this is not it. Would I want this in my ribs? No. So yes, you can defend yourself with this thing. If it's not a fighting knife, it doesn't mean you can't fight with it. So, but that's just that. The roll forward is killing me in the hand, and it makes me wish I could just for one moment put on someone else's hands, like put on Aurora Borealis's hands, so I can feel what he wanted to get out of this, because I think my hands are going to do this a disservice, even though it's designed very well. This is very well designed, but my hands are going to make it seem like it's not, even though it's not a knife problem, it's a me problem. All right, so let's start with a couple of 4-foot gravity drops. Make sure I'm in there. And I know this thing is going to fall pretty straight. At least it should. And of course it does. And you can see the bite is crazy. It's too heavy. It's sideways. Now I can look at it right here, and it looks like about a 1/2 inch of penetration on the drop. Now I'll do a couple of hard downward throws. I'm surprised that didn't split my wood. Bam, man, that's crazy. That right there is about 1 inch of penetration, and it's less of how hard I threw it and more of how hefty this freaking blade is. That is hefty. So I normally come over and I do a whole bunch of cutting and things like that to do the finer skills, and I will do a couple cuts. I believe would be a disservice because it's he called it nimble. I would love to see him nimbleize with it, but it's not really the most nimble knife. This thing wants to tear a path through planets. You know what I mean? This thing is not going to whittle a bar of soap, you know what I mean, into a little tiny dog. This thing is made, you can go to a junkyard and turn off the car crusher and just chop up things with this. Bye, Volvo. It's just, this thing is crazy. But let's get it over here and see what kind of cutting we can get. See what kind of materials I have left with the wind. Everything's being blown over. I wonder if I can, let's see. All right, so as far as edge, it's definitely not shave sharp. It is, I'm not even breaking hairs. It is a convex edge. If I can go straighter down without cutting my arm off. Yeah, it's definitely not, it's sharp. I can feel it sharp, but it's not shaving. I don't know if Scab did any work with this or not. It looks pretty new, but the Scab takes good care of stuff, so I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. So I can't tell you if the edge is 100% brand new. What I can tell you is it's the first Work Tuff Gear knife I've used that doesn't shave, but again, it could be a used edge. I can't get a push cut using the tip. The knife is just, it's too big. It's not made, or it's, maybe he made it to be, but it's just not right for it. There we go. All right, so coming down here and utilizing that amazing finger choil, I have to put a lot of power into it, but I got a push cut, no sawing, and I was able to get it done. So can it push cut? Yes. Does it have to be shave sharp? No. And I tell people all the time, just because it's not shave sharp doesn't mean it's sharp. I mean, if you're not using it as a razor blade, then why do you need it to be shave sharp in the first place? It just doesn't make sense. So I have this hard piece of hose. I want to see if I can actually chop at the hose. I guess that's a yes. That was that was pretty simple. There's no that's a hard material, so I'm looking for any kind of rolls or folds in the edge, and there is nothing. That thing is solid. So I know by holding it, I know what this knife is. I know what this knife is not. Let's go use it for what it actually is. Come on. All right, let's turn this into a bunch of little sticks instead of one big one. And I have a feeling that it's going to be no problem getting that done. This won't take long. This knife, I'm barely swinging. Watch how lazy the swing is. I mean, I'm lazy. I feel like this is like knife reviewing from the couch. That is insane. How easy this thing is going through that. It shouldn't be that easy. All right, I gotta put a couple hard swings right into that knot right there. Let's see. Let go. I was waiting for it to pop up and hit me in the face. Woo! Golly. That was crazy. All right, here we go. And I told you can feather, and especially if you use a thumb technique where you hold the knife and then instead of pushing the knife with your grip hand, you push it with your offhand. And so I'm going to use my thumb, and I'm just going to feather. Now you have to go pretty high because the convex edge, you know, if it's a different kind of edge, you can lay that blade down. Can't do that with a convex edge, just the way it's made. So people who try to feather with a convex edge, but they feather the way they do with something flat, they don't understand why it doesn't work. It will work, you just have to do it right. So let's see. I'm going to use a side grip because I have plenty of room. Look at that. All that right there would make amazing tinder. And just, you're seeing it fall off, but that doesn't matter because what you do is you do this really close to the ground where you want to collect all your stuff, and it would just fall right into place. So if it's not staying on, that is not a problem. I could easily get myself a bird's nest, a little fluff with this thing. I'm talking easily. But what we need to do is chop down something. These trees are all coming down here, these three, so I have no problem swatting at one of them because they're all coming down anyway. I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to hit because these thorns are all over the place, and I know I'm going to get bit by one, but it's worth it to swing this because this is freaking fun. All right, let's see here. Let's get rid of some of these small pieces that are going to get me. There we go. This is going to be hard because it's dangly and bouncy, and I'm just swinging at it without having, like when I put it on the log, you noticed it was super easy to hit. Off the log with nothing to brace it, it's not super easy. But I have a lot of faith in this knife design and a lot of faith in how it was made. Wow. Thorn went right into my shoulder. I'll show you what I mean here. Those thorns, those are deadly out here, man. Those things are nasty, nasty. All right, so, and they are everywhere. It is literally, if I grab this, I gotta be really careful. It's just everywhere you grab is thorns, just thorns. So hitting something like this can be dangerous. So I have to get this one out of my head. I have to be very, very careful on what I do and how I do it, because I hate getting stabbed by these things. They're terrible. All right, so let's try this one. Super nice. Now these mesquites, this is the stuff right here. See that beautiful brown color in there? Oh man, you get a bunch of those shavings and you cook on those. That's great for grilling. All right, so let's chop some more. Let's chop some more, because this thing's freaking fun. Wow, that you can't see, but that was this deep. Now you can see. That is huge. See if I can go the opposite direction. Wow, that was a miss hit and it was huge. There we go. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. This thing is a wonderful, wonderful hitter. Having that convex grind just makes it absolutely dive through the wood. Having that forward cant makes it dive through that wood. It's just the weight, the push, the balance. It is made to swing and swing hard. Let's see here. Ooh, those got some thorns right there. Wearing flip-flops, that's always smart. Sound like a hairless gorilla. About as smart as one too. All right, let's see. Ooh. Having them over my head makes me more nervous because I don't want a 2-inch thorn hitting me in the dome. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy nice. I want to hit a nice fat part. That's a nice thick piece. Remember, this is out in Arizona. All this stuff is hard. It is hard. It's not like the pines and fir trees and stuff like that, like you get back east or up north. This stuff is crazy. Although I say that, but Arizona is home to the largest pine forest in the world. Imagine that, just not right here. Oh my gosh, that is super nice. That is super nice. I am impressed. And I love the people who don't listen to me, because if I say something like, oh, it's not this, or it's not that, or it doesn't have this, or it doesn't have, people automatically, they only hear that. I love this thing. They won't hear that part. They won't listen to that. This thing is crazy, man. This thing is crazy. This is a beast. So if you're looking for just a nasty hitter, and I know he says nimble. I got some questions, but if you're looking for a nasty hitter that's built well, great heat treat, good edge shape, and if your hands are not XX hands, I would love to see what other people think about the grip. just because for me, I don't know if it's this downward piece right here or in here. I think it's right here, how it goes up first, then down. I think that's where it loses it in my hand. But damn, once you start swinging, it doesn't matter, because especially if I use an okay grip where I open up my bottom 3 fingers and then let the fingers do the chop, then that really doesn't matter. As far as chopping with this weight, just hitting like this overhead, I can actually feel it in my triceps. And I'm a big guy, right? I'm a big guy. I can feel it in my tricep from all the swinging overhead. That's crazy. So you can actually get a little workout. Can't get to the gym today. I'm gonna do some overhead chops with this knife. This is nuts. But the Mountain Man by Work Tuff Gear, man, that's winner chicken dinner right there, man. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.